Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, before we get into the show, first off, man, if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video will come out because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. And then next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. You click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded. And one last thing, don't forget to be awesome. So yeah, don't forget to be awesome. And yeah, man, sit back, chillax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink because you're watching the Ryan Awesome Show. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, we'll be talking about NXT, the Great American Bash for July 6th, 2021. Now, man, with this show, man, this is a good show, man, really good show. We had a lot of great matches on this show. The tag team championship match with MSK versus Ciampa and Thatcher, that was really good, bro. Great opening match to start off the show. The Cameron Grimes and LA Knight match was fun, really fun. Crowd was into that match. And of course, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly in the main event. I thought that was the best match on the show. You know, and also on this show, I thought they did a great job, man. Great job at building up to next week's show. Because next week's show we have the tournament, the breakout tournament match, or the tournament, and we have the Johnny Gargano versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship. So they announced that tonight. So they setting that up for next week. So I thought they did a really great job at setting up next week's show. And yeah, man, it was just a good show, man. Nothing was wrong with the show. I did had a question on one of the matches though, the outcome of the tag team match, but I'm gonna get into it later. But you know, it wasn't a perfect show. No show is ever perfect, but this was a good show, man. This is a really good show, man. So yeah, man. So this is the NXT Great American Bash review on the Ryan Awesome Show. And just like what I said in my intro, bro, if you haven't done this already, man, hit the thumbs up, man. Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, if you're new to the Ryan Awesome Show, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And then right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. You just click on that bell. And when you click on that bell, you'll be the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded because I said it's time and time again, bro. I am here every single week, man. For NXT, for AEW, for Impact Wrestling. I'm here, man. I'm here. So yeah, we started off the show and it was the NXT Tag Team Championship match. And it was MSK who are the NXT Tag Team Champions. That's Nash, Carter, and Wes Lee versus Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. Toothless Timothy Thatcher. So yeah, we had a springboard corkscrew to Ciampa from Carter. And then we had kicks to Thatcher from MSK, so they double teamed Thatcher. And then Thatcher, he started fighting back. And then Ciampa and Thatcher, they double teamed MSK. And the crowd was cheering for Ciampa and Thatcher, so they were pro Ciampa and Thatcher, and they booed MSK. You know, MSK, they are a babyface tag team, and they booed MSK. So yeah, so we had a running corner knee to Lee from Ciampa, and we had a drop kick to Ciampa from Lee, and we had a PK kick to Ciampa from Carter, and then at one point we had Carter, he was going for an outside moonsault, but Thatcher, he had pushed Ciampa out of the way, so Thatcher had ended up taking a bullet for Ciampa, and so Ciampa he he took out Carter outside the ring with a clothesline. And so yeah, we had a commercial break. And so at that point I was like, man, commercial break. We had a commercial break during the opening match. So I thought that was strange, bro. I thought it was really strange because when we start off shows, we usually don't have a, a commercial break. It's usually in the middle of the show, but we had it in our first match of the night, so I didn't know why we had a commercial break during that match. But yeah, so we had a knee to the back, a knee to Lee's back from Ciampa, and he kicked out. And then we had a hot tag to Carter, and then we had MSK, Carter and Lee. They took out Thatcher, and so at that point the crowd was booing again. And so Thatcher, he ended up fighting back. He had a belly to belly suplex to Carter. And so at that point we had Thatcher and Ciampa. They took control of the match. And so Carter, he tried fighting back. But it wasn't working. And then Ciampa, he had caught Carter with a V-trigger knee. So shades of Kenny Omega right there. And so Carter, he still tried to fight back. And so he had a jumping knee to Ciampa. And so you saw the spit fly out of Ciampa's mouth. And so, yeah, so Lee, he ended up getting in the match. So he got a hot tag to Lee. And so Lee, he had hit a 619 to Thatcher. And then we had a drop kick to Lee from Ciampa. So yeah, so Lee, he was going for his cartwheel Pele kick that he does in the corner. And so Ciampa, he had caught him midway with a drop kick. So I thought that was really nice. Thought it was the timing of that move was really perfect, man. And so Ciampa, he hit one of his finishing moves, the Project Ciampa, that power bomb into a backbreaker. And so yeah, he hit the Project Ciampa on Lee. And so Lee had kicked out. And so yeah, we had a Swanton bomb. We had a Swanton bomb from Carter to Tommaso Ciampa. And we had a diving corkscrew to Ciampa from Lee. And so Lee went for the cover, but Thatcher had pulled him out of the ring. And so Carter, he tried to take out Thatcher outside the ring, but Thatcher had caught him with an uppercut in midair. And so we had a fairy tale ending. So Ciampa hit his finishing move, the fairy tale ended to Lee. And then Thatcher locked in the ankle lock on Wesley. And so at that point we had Tommaso Ciampa, he tried to go for the Willow's Bell on Carter, but Carter, he had pushed Tommaso Ciampa into Timothy Thatcher. So that's the second time that they, had a miscommunication, I guess, because the first time Thatcher, he accidentally hit Tommaso Ciampa. And so he accidentally ran into Thatcher. So Ciampa accidentally ran into Thatcher. Or he got pushed into Thatcher. And so yeah. So when he pushed Ciampa into Thatcher, that broke up the submission move that Thatcher had on Lee, that ankle lock. And so we had an inside cradle to end the match. We had an inside cradle to Thatcher from Lee to win the match. So MSK win the match and are still the NXT Tag Team Champions. Still the NXT Tag Team Champions. So yeah, this is a good match, man. Really good match. I don't know why MSK won the match when you've been pushing Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher this entire time during the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and all that stuff. And them starting off as rivals and then having them team up, and you made them look good as a tag team. You try to build them up as a legit tag team, and they have been coming off like a legit tag team. Like at first, when they first came together, I was like, man, Ciampa is better than a tag team. And now, man, as they kept teaming up more and more and more, like I started to get used to them. They started to warm up to me. But that should have been the time you should have gave the tag team titles to them. So I thought they were going to get the tag team titles to them. That's what I thought, man. But they didn't go that way. And I thought that was the wrong move. That was the wrong move. You should have gave Ciampa and Thatcher the win. Because MSK, they ain't done nothing. They ain't doing nothing with the championships. Like, who else are they going to defend the championships against? Because you don't have nobody else. You don't have nobody else. All you have is Imperium and who else? You have Imperium and you have the Grizzly Young Veterans. Imperium, the Grizzly Young Veterans. You had Breezango, but you released them. You fired them. You had Everrise, you fired them. You had Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. You fired Killian Dane. So Drake Maverick is all by himself. Like, dude, who else is next? Like, they are in deep trouble with their tag team division. They are in deep trouble. So WWE as a whole, bro, is in deep trouble with their tag team division. Raw, SmackDown, tag team divisions suck. NXT tag team division, they don't suck, but they just have a lack of tag teams. Now, it's not the fact that the whole tag team division sucks. It just they have a lack of tag teams. But yeah, man. But yeah, but you like them like Ciampa and Thatcher not winning this match. It felt like it was a waste of time. It felt like you wasted everybody's time by not putting the championships on them. You wasted everybody's time by just putting them together, not to have them win the titles. It's just like, dude, should have put the titles on them. Like, will they get a rematch? Will they get a rematch for the tag team titles? Probably not because they lost fair and square. You know they can't complain about it. But yeah, Ciampa and Thatcher they should have won this match. They should have won the tag team titles. And we do the only yeah we did have one title change. I was about to say we didn't have no title changes, but we did have a title change tonight. But I'm gonna get into that later, bro. But yeah, that was it with that. But yeah, that was it. So yeah, so right after that we had the battery percentage. So the battery percentage they've been playing for weeks and weeks and weeks, probably for months. And so now the battery percentage is at 91%. So we're getting close and close to 100%. So we're at 91%. And so yeah, so right after that we had Samoa Joe and Mr. Regal, or William Regal, whatever you want to call him. So yeah, they were out in the ring. They were in the middle of the ring. So Mr. Regal he grabbed the microphone and he called out Karrion Kross and Johnny Gargano to get out to the ring right now because he had to address them, because of their, their brawls from last week and all that stuff. So Gargano he had came out first, and then Karrion Kross had came out next. He came out without Scarlett. So yeah, so we did have security guards. They were lined outside the ring. They were lined up outside the ring. So in case something went down, they were there to break it up. And so yeah, so Gargano he grabbed the microphone. He said that Karrion Kross sucks. He sucks. And so the crowd started chanting, "You suck" and all that stuff. And so Gargano he had said that Kross is terrified of Gargano because he's gonna expose Kross for how terrible of a wrestler he is. And he said that Kross is not on his level. He will out wrestle Kross. And so Mr. Regal he had said that Kross he will defend his NXT Championship match next week against Johnny Gargano next week. And so yeah, so Kross he had said that Gargano, because Gargano he was complaining about Kross almost running him over last week. And so Kross he was like, the reason why, I didn't try to run you over. You were just in the way. You're in the way. So yeah, so I didn't try to run you over. You're just in the way. So you're about to get hit. So yeah, so Kross he had mentioned WrestleMania and the WWE Championship and all that stuff. His dreams and WWE, I guess. Him main eventing WrestleMania one day and him becoming WWE champion one day. And so yeah, so Kross he had mentioned Johnny Gargano. He said like when you wake up in the morning, what do you think about? And he said that Gargano was wearing Candice LeRae's jeans or something like that. And so Kross said that people like Gargano get the hell beat out of them. People like Gargano get the hell beaten out of them. And so yeah, so Mr. Regal he had said that Samoa Joe is the special guest referee in this match next week for the NXT tag team, the NXT Championship match. So yeah, so Joe he will be the special guest referee in that match against Kross and Gargano for the title. And so Gargano he was excited about it, excited about Joe being a referee and all that stuff. And so yeah, so Gargano he was saying that. So yeah, so Gargano, he said that you mentioned my wife earlier. You can't even lace up my wife's boots. And so Kross he tried to go after Gargano. And so Samoa Joe had stepped in front of Kross, stepped in his way. So Kross wouldn't attack Gargano. And so Joe and Kross started staring at each other. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, that's next week. So it's official. So next week is gonna be Johnny Gargano versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship as Samoa Joe as the referee, the special guest referee. So I think this match should be good. It should be really good. I don't know who wins. I guess Kross. And the reason why I'm saying that because Kross he could be called up to the main roster soon because Kross he was on the main roster. He was on Raw or he was on main event. I think he was. He was on main event. He fought Shelton Benjamin in a one-on-one match without Scarlett. So that was and then Scarlett wasn't even there. Scarlett wasn't even there, dude. He didn't come out with Scarlett. And so yeah, he didn't have the smoke and all that stuff. His interest, I saw it, bro. It was depressing, dude. It was depressing. So yeah, so Cross, I think yeah, Cross he fits on the main roster. I don't think he needs NXT. Like at first, I thought he was gonna go back to the, I thought he was gonna go to the main roster when he came back from his injury because a guy like Cross, he'll be booked perfectly because he got the size and all that stuff. He got the character, and Vince he loves his big guys. He loves his big guys, and Karrion Cross is a big guy, dude, a big freaking dude. And so yeah, so he could be called up. He could be called up. I don't know when, but in this match, I don't think Cross will lose. I think like if he will get called up to the main roster, I don't think he's gonna lose his championship because you can't beat a person like Cross. You can't beat him. So he might take the Asuka route. Remember when Asuka had to relinquish her championship when she was undefeated in NXT as the NXT Women's Champion? She relinquished her title. She relinquished her title, and nobody ever beaten her in NXT. So she relinquished her title and she got drafted to Monday Night Raw. So I think the same thing might happen across. Same thing might happen across. So yeah, and the match will be better because Samoa Joe is the special guest referee. So something might go down in that match. Something might go down in that match. Cross might end up getting screwed. He might get screwed over by Joe. You know, if Cross put his hands on Joe, you know, because he can do that. He can do that if he's provoked. He can put his hands on these guys. So yeah, so it's kind of unpredictable, man. It's kind of unpredictable. You don't know what's gonna happen, and unpredictability is a great thing, bro. It's a really great thing. So yeah, that was it with that, man. And so right after that, we had a vignette from Kushida, the cruiserweight champion, the NXT cruiserweight champion. He spoke. He talked about Diamond Mine taking him out a couple of weeks ago. And Kushida, he said that he's ready. He's ready for all challengers. So whoever wants a shot at his cruiserweight championship, he's ready. He's ready for all challengers. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that, we had the $1 million championship match, and it was L.A. Knight, who is the $1 million champion, versus Cameron Grimes. And so yeah, so the stipulation in this match, if Cameron Grimes loses the match, he will be L.A. Knight's butler. And so yeah, so this is a fun match, a really fun match, bro. We had Grimes, he had went right after Knight, and then we had a PK kick to Knight. We had a diving crossbody to Knight, which was nice. And so we had a forearm to Knight in midair. So Knight, he was trying to go for a springboard move, but Grimes had caught him with a forearm strike. And so we had a standing moonsault to Knight. And then Knight, he had countered with a tilt-a-whirl power slam to Grimes, which was sloppy. And so, yeah, so Knight, he had took control of the match during a commercial break, picture in picture, of course. And so, yeah, we had a standing Spanish fly to Knight, which was nice, bro. I love it when Cameron Grimes hit that standing Spanish fly, bro. Like, it literally comes out of nowhere, bro. It really comes out of nowhere. And so, yeah, both of these guys, they were going back and forth with strikes. And we had a spinning Uranagi to Knight. And so we had a burning hammer. We had a burning hammer to Grimes. So it's the torture rack face buster. And then Grimes had kicked out in the move. And so we had a superplex to Grimes, and he kicks out. And so Knight, he couldn't believe it. He thought that was it. And so Knight, he had rolled out of the ring. He had grabbed the $1 million championship. And so he went in the ring with the $1 million championship. And so the referee had took it away from him. And so at that point, Grimes and Knight, they were trading roll-ups. So they were going back and forth with roll-ups. And so Grimes, he had hit a poison rhino on Knight. And so Knight had kicked out. And so the crowd started chanting, that was three. That was three. And so Grimes, he tried to go for the cave-in. He tried to go for the cave-in on Knight. But Knight, he had rolled out of the ring. And so he had tripped up Cameron Grimes on the ring apron. And so we had a DDT. We had a DDT to Grimes on a title outside of the ring. And so the referee had counted to 10. And so Grimes, I thought he got counted out, bro. I think he did get counted out. Because the referee did not count to 10. Like when Grimes, he was out there, he barely made it into the ring. He barely made it into the ring. Referee was at 9, and Grimes, he was not moving at all. And so referee could have counted 10, but Grimes, he was too late. But referee did not count to 10. So Grimes is still alive. He's still alive. And so yeah, so Grimes got back into the ring. And we had Knight, he had his finishing move, the BFT. That's what he called it, the BFT to Grimes. I don't know what the BFT stands for, but he hit the BFT to Grimes to win the match. So LA Knight wins the match and is still the $1 million champion. And so yeah, this is a really good match, fun match, bro. And yeah, the crowd was into this match. I love the crowd reaction in this match. And you know, they were invested in this match. They did, you know, they wanted Grimes to win the match, but he didn't win the match. But I kind of knew LA Knight was gonna win. I kind of knew that he was gonna win anyways because you're not gonna take the title off of like you're not gonna take the title off a Knight after you just won a title, and you know you just not. You can't do that. So, and you know Grimes as a butler, I don't know about it. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. You know, Cameron Grimes is not gonna be himself as a butler. He's not gonna be himself. Like I don't know what to expect from it. You know, I really don't know. But it was either situation, bro. Like Knight had to win this match because you know you can't take the title off him after he just won it. And Grimes, you know, it would be too early to put the championship on him. You know, eventually he will win the championship, the $1 million championship, but now would have been too early. So that's why I'm guessing that they're gonna have to wait, or they are waiting. You know, until I guess maybe the next takeover when they start traveling on the road again, I guess in front of like thousands of people, like in an arena. I guess they're gonna have to, or they might put the title on Grimes in front of a crowd, a larger crowd. So yeah, that was it with that. And so right after that we had McKenzie Mitchell. She interviews Raquel Gonzalez, who is the NXT Women's Champion, and Dakota Kai. So they're backstage. And so McKenzie Mitchell, she wanted to know the predictions on the NXT Women's Championship Tag Team match between the Way and Io Shirai and Zoey Stark. So that she wants to know, like, what's your predictions? Who you think gonna win the match? And so, you know, Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, they were upset that they were not in this match, this title match. And you know, they were talking about Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart, saying that they're gonna take out Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon for good. And that was it, man. That was it. And so yeah, so right after that we had the announcement of the NXT Breakout Tournament. So we had the competitors announced. They were on the stage, and so they announced each competitor. And so yeah, so our first competitor is Trey Baxter. He had a match with Kushida. And Carmelo Hayes, he had a match with Kushida and Adam Cole. Andre Chase, Josh Briggs. I heard of the name Josh Briggs before, but I'm not too familiar on him. Ikemen Jiro. So that's the guy. Jiro is the guy that wrestled with his blazer on. Joe Gacy. I heard of Joe Gacy. I think he came from Evolve. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he came from Evolve. So I am familiar with the name Joe Gacy. We have Odyssey Jones. Not familiar with him. And Duke Hudson. Also not familiar with him. So yeah, so these are all the guys that are in this breakout tournament next week. So the tournament does start next week. And who will win the match? Who will win the tournament? I don't know. Might be either Carmelo Hayes or Joe Gacy. Might be one of these guys. Or Trey Baxter, man. Trey Baxter, he might make it to the finals or the semifinals. But I'm seeing it might be Carmelo Hayes. It might be Carmelo Hayes or Joe Gacy. Might be one of those guys. And so yeah, so that was it with that. And that's it with the tournament. So the tournament will be next week. And so yeah, so right after that we had the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. And it was Zoey Stark and Io Shirai versus The Way, who are the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. That's Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell. And so yeah, we had so this match, it did start off slow. But everything did start to pick up. We had a missile dropkick to Hartwell from Io. We had a double suplex to Hartwell from Io and Stark. So they double team Hartwell. And then Hartwell, she had dropped Zoey Stark on a ring rope. And so we had a hot tag to Io. And then Io and LeRae, they went at it. And so we had a flapjack to LeRae from Io. And then she had a 619 to LeRae. And then she followed it up with a springboard dropkick to LeRae. And we had a sliding knee to LeRae from Stark. And she kicked out. And then Io Shirai, she tried to go for a finishing move, the moonsault, but Candice LeRae had moved out of the way. And so we had LeRae, she had locked in the Gargano escape to Io Shirai. And then Indi Hartwell, she also locked in a submission move, but she did not lock in the Gargano escape. She locked in the silence. So that's Dexter Lumis submission move. So she locked in her lover's submission move. And so yeah, both of these ladies, they broke away from the submission moves. They fought out of the submission moves. And so we had a German suplex to Io Shirai from LeRae off of the second rope. And we had a super kick. We had a super kick to Io Shirai from LeRae right in the face. And so at that point, you know, Candice LeRae, she was about to go for something. I think she was trying to go for a finishing move, that Wicked Stepsister or something like that. And so the lights had cut off. The lights had cut off. And so we had the battery percentage, the battery logo again, charging up. And so at that time, it was at 100%. So it fully charged. So the battery percentage is fully charged. And so you had the green lighting and all that stuff. And so you had a spotlight that showed up on the stage, and it was Tegan Nox. So Tegan Nox is back in NXT. And so that distracted the way. So that distracted Candice LeRae and Indi Hartwell. And so Zoey Stark, she had took advantage of that. Io Shirai and Zoey Stark took advantage of it. So Zoey Stark, she had a finish move. It looked like a 360 GTS, which was nice. It looked really cool to Hartwell to win the match. So Zoey Stark and Io Shirai wins the match under the new NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. And so yeah, so right after the match, we had Tegan Nox. She attacked Candice LeRae because, you know, Candice LeRae had took out Tegan Nox months and months ago. You know, putting her on the sidelines, you know, costing her time of her career. And so yeah, so Nox, she unloaded on Candice LeRae, and so Candice LeRae, she ran away from Tegan Nox, and so Tegan Nox had followed her. And so yeah, that was it with that, man. That was it, man. And so yeah, just like, you know, I was expecting Io and Zoey Stark to win the match anyway, because Io Shirai, she just came back and she was targeting a championship. She should have just went after the NXT Women's Championship and not some tag team championship, but kind of knew that Io Shirai and Zoey Stark were going to win because, you know, not only that, but they are heavy. They are high on Zoey Stark, because Zoey Stark, she is featured a lot on NXT. They have been pushing her a lot, so it wasn't surprising to me that Zoey Stark and Io Shirai won the match. And so yeah, it was Tegan Nox, man. It was Tegan Nox all along. And that battery percentage, you know, you had people saying it was either Tegan Nox. I was hearing Conan Reeves. I was hearing his name too. You know, the possible guys or gals. You know, I even heard Roddy. I even heard Roderick Strong was one of the guys that could have been behind that battery percentage, but it was Tegan Nox. So yeah, so it was Tegan Nox. And yeah, man, that was it with the match, man. Who will be next for the NXT Tag Team Championships or the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships? I don't know. I don't know. Because the last time, like, dude, you featured all of your tag teams in a number one contenders match, a triple threat match, number one contenders match. So, as far as I'm concerned, none of them deserve another shot. So, who's next? Who's next for Io Shirai and Zoey Stark? Really nobody, man. Really nobody. So, yeah. And, you know, Io Shirai, yes, she's the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, but since she's owed an NXT Women's Championship match, will she go after the NXT Women's Championship? Because she still haven't gotten her championship match. She still haven't gotten her rematch. So if I'm owed a rematch, I will go after the championship. And now that you have the NXT Tag Team Championship, why not go after the NXT Women's Championship? So you can have two championships. So you'll have two championships. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Io Shirai, but if I'm Io, I'm going after the NXT Women's Championship. I'll be like, man, the NXT Tag Team title is not good enough for me. I want the NXT Women's Championship. A match, you know, a match that I deserve. A match that I never gotten. I never got my rematch. So I deserve a rematch with Raquel Gonzalez, who is the NXT Women's Champion. So yeah, that's what I would do, man, if I'm Io. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had McKenzie Mitchell. She interviews Toni Storm. And so yeah, so Toni Storm, she was talking about Raquel Gonzalez and the thought of her going after Shotzi Blackheart and all that stuff. And so yeah, so Toni Storm. So yeah, so McKenzie Mitchell, she had mentioned Sarai,
calling her out last week. And so Toni Storm, she had said that Shirai is not on her level. So the answer to her question is no. So she declines the challenge. So she will not be facing Shirai. And so yeah, so right after that we had a video. So they showed this during the commercial break. So we had Dexter Lumis. He had came out and he carried Indi Hartwell to the back. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, so right after that we had Hit Row. We had Hit Row. That's Isaiah Swerve Scott, who is the NXT North American Champion. Ashante, the Adonis, Top Dolla, and B-Fab. So this is their NXT North American Championship celebration. And so yeah, man, this is really good, bro. This is really good. So yeah, first off, they were all rapping to like different beats and all that stuff. Each of them were rapping to different beats. And then they started rapping to their own theme music. So they were walking to the ring while they were rapping to their theme music and all that. And so, yeah, and that was it. That was it with that, bro. That was it with that. And so I love Hit Row, bro. I'm telling you, I love Hit Row. I love everything about them. Everything about them. The presentation, you know, the attitude and all that stuff, the theme music, everything, bro. Everything about them. They fit together, bro. They fit together. Everything about them. I love everything about them, bro. You have Isaiah Swerve Scott as the NXT North American Champion, dude. The leader with the championship. So that's really good. That makes the group stronger. Now when they were rapping and all that stuff, the crowd were stunned. They weren't into it. They were not into it. They were not into it. They were quiet. They were quiet. While Hit Row was rapping and everything, they were quiet. And so I was like, man, why is this crowd not making any noise, man? Hit Row is freaking awesome. They are freaking awesome. And they not even reacting. They're not even reacting to Hit Row. And so at that point, I was like, man, I can't wait till the crowd come back, bro. I cannot wait for the crowd to come back because I think the Full Sail crowd, bro. I think the Full Sail crowd would have, stood up and danced and all that stuff and sung along with them. But these people, they ain't do nothing. They ain't do nothing. They ain't do nothing. They ain't sing along. They ain't clap their hands. They ain't do nothing. They just sat down there. They just sat down on their hands and in their mask. That's all they did. But yeah, so I thought that was strange. I thought that was really strange. So yeah, so that was it with the celebration from Hit Row, the NXT North American Championship celebration from Hit Row. And so yeah, so right after that we had a backstage segment. So McKenzie Mitchell, she interviewed Samoa Joe and Mr. Regal. And so she wanted to know their thoughts about tonight's show, how everything, panned out tonight. And she asked about next week's show. Or Mr. Regal, he talked about next week's show, what's coming up on next week's show with the breakout tournament and the NXT Championship match. And, everything else that's going to happen on next week's show. And so Joe, he had talked about the NXT Championship match next week against Cross and Gargano, saying that he's the special guest referee. And as long as he's not provoked, everything will go just fine in that championship match. So yeah, so everything is not gonna turn out fine. Somebody's gonna get screwed over, bro. Somebody's gonna get screwed over in that match. Joe, he's gonna somehow get provoked in that match, and Joe, he's gonna end up screwing somebody over. And so yeah, so that was it with that. So yeah, so right after that we had next week's show. So next week's show, man, we have so the breakout tournament is next week. Mentioned that earlier. Shirai will be in action next week. Ikemen Jiro, I'm gonna just call him Jiro because I can't pronounce his first name. So it's Jiro versus Duke Hudson next week, and that's that first round breakout tournament. So that's next week, and we have, of course, Johnny Gargano versus Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship, and Samoa Joe as the guest referee, the special guest referee. And Shirai will be in action next week. And so yeah, so that was it with that. So that's it with next week's show. So yeah, that was it. So right after that, we had the main event. We had the main event, the best match on the show for me. We had Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole, baby. And so yeah, so first off, man, we had both of these guys that were trying to out wrestle each other. And then we had a commercial break, so it felt like it was a long commercial break. So we came back from commercial break. Cole and O'Reilly were going back and forth. We had an arm bar to Cole, and then O'Reilly started going after Cole's arm. And in the crowd, they were cheering Adam Cole, so the crowd was pro Adam Cole. And so we had a kick to Cole's chest. And we had a swinging neck breaker to O'Reilly on the floor, so that had to hurt, bro. And so yeah, then the crowd started cheering for Kyle O'Reilly too, so the crowd was 50-50. They were split. So yeah, one side of the crowd chanting for Cole, you had the other side of the crowd chanting for O'Reilly. And so yeah, you had kicks and knee strikes to Cole, and so the crowd started booing O'Reilly. And so we had a double underhook rolling DDT to Cole, and he kicked out. And then O'Reilly, he started going after Cole's bad knee. So Cole, he had tape on his knee, so O'Reilly saw it, so he went after the knee. And so we had a backstabber to O'Reilly, he kicked out. And so Cole, he started trash talking O'Reilly. He called him a disappointment, and he said everybody knows it, and including your stupid wife. So O'Reilly, he was mad, so he was pissed off, so he unloaded on Adam Cole. And so Cole, he tripped up O'Reilly on the top rope. So yeah, kicked him right in his leg, so he tripped him up. And so Cole, he still went after the leg, so the leg was the focus of the match. And so Cole, he went to control of the match during the commercial break, picture in picture. So this is our second commercial break during the match. I could have done without the commercial breaks. But yeah, so Cole and O'Reilly, they took each other out with a clothesline. We had a pump kick to O'Reilly. And then Cole, he went out right after O'Reilly's leg again. And we had a dragon screw to Cole. So both of these guys, they were going after each other's legs. And so both of these guys, they were going back and forth with kicks. So O'Reilly started kicking Cole in his chest. And Cole, he started kicking O'Reilly in the leg. And so we had a chop block to O'Reilly. We had a shining wizard to O'Reilly. He kicked out. And we had a Saito suplex to Cole for a near fall, for a damn near fall at that too, man. He almost got he almost lost. He almost lost the match. So it was this close. The referee's hand was this close from hitting 3. And so O'Reilly, he started kicking Cole again. And so yeah, so both of these guys, they were going back and forth for submission moves. O'Reilly tried to lock in the heel hook. Adam Cole, he locked in a figure 4 leg lock to O'Reilly. And so we had a heel hook submission to Cole, and then Cole had grabbed the rope. And so O'Reilly started striking Cole, hitting him with forearms and knee strikes and all that stuff. And we had a PK kick to Cole, and the force of O'Reilly, the force that he hit, the force of the move that O'Reilly did, or the force of the move that O'Reilly hit on Cole, it knocked him out of the ring. So O'Reilly was knocked out of the ring by his own move. And then we had Adam Cole, he had the Panama Sunrise to O'Reilly on the floor, so that had to hurt too, man. And so Cole, he had brought O'Reilly back into the ring. He went for the cover, but Cole, he does not hook the leg, so that's a big mistake from Adam Cole. And so O'Reilly, he had put his foot on the rope. So yeah, Adam Cole, he could have just pulled him. He could have hooked the outside leg. He could have hooked the outside leg, or he could have dragged him into the ring or the middle of the ring and went for the cover, but he didn't do it. So yeah, he did not hook the leg, so O'Reilly ended up putting his foot on the rope. And so we had a super kick to O'Reilly, and then we had a lariat to Cole, so they were going back and forth. We had a brain buster to Cole, and then we had a O'Reilly, he tried to go for his finishing move, that diving knee strike, or that diving knee on Cole, but Cole had moved out of the way. And so we had the last shot to O'Reilly, so Cole hit his finishing move, the last shot to O'Reilly. And then O'Reilly had kicked out. And at that point, I was like, what? I was like, what? You kicked out of the last shot? It was a picture perfect last shot. And he kicked out of that, bro. And so I was like, man, what? And Adam Cole couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it either. And so Cole, he had went right after O'Reilly's leg again. And so, yeah, so Cole, he tried to go for the Panama Sunrise again. And so he tried to go for the Panama Sunrise, but O'Reilly had caught him with a knee strike. So he had hit Adam Cole with his knee, or he hit Adam Cole with a knee strike in his chest, but O'Reilly ended up hurting himself because he hit Adam Cole with it, with O'Reilly's injured knee. So he used the injured knee to hit Adam Cole in the chest. And so O'Reilly was hurt. So Adam Cole, he went for the Panama Sunrise. So he hit the Panama Sunrise, and he followed up with a last shot to O'Reilly to win the match. So Adam Cole, baby, wins the match. And that was it, man. Great match, bro. Great back and forth. Like, they've been in the ring thousands of times. They've been in the ring thousands of times on the indies. So they know each other really well. They know each other really well. They kept countering each other's finishing moves and all that stuff, and big moves and all that. So they know each other really well, man. They had an answer for every single move. And so, yeah, I would have got rid of the commercial breaks. It felt like we had not too many commercial breaks, but we had 2. It should have just been 1. But yeah, I would have done without the commercial breaks. But the main question is like, what's next for Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly? Will they still go at each other? Will they still go at each other? I have a feeling that they will continue to go after each other because they have a win over each other. O'Reilly beat Cole at Stand and Deliver, Takeover Stand and Deliver, night 2, and Cole beat him tonight. Adam Cole beat him tonight, so they have a victory over each other. So it's 1-1. So I don't know if they're gonna still go after each other. I think they will, but I don't want them to go after each other. They need to move on to something else. And so yeah, man. And a lot of people thought that Adam Cole was going to lose this match. A lot of people thought that Adam Cole was going to lose this match and go up to the main roster or get called up to the main roster. So I'm glad that's not going to happen. I'm glad Cole is not going to get called up to the main roster. He will eventually get called up to the main roster, but I don't want him to be on the main roster, bro. I really don't. Because they're not going to treat Adam Cole with respect. They're not going to treat him like they're not going to treat him with respect. They're not going to treat him as a main eventer. Because Adam Cole, he is a main eventer, and they're not going to treat him as a main event if he's in the main roster. So that's why, like, what's next? What he's gonna do in NXT? What exactly he's gonna do in NXT? Will he go after the North American Championship? You know, he's not gonna go after the NXT Championship because he already had his shot. You know, NXT Championship can't. Maybe the NXT North American Championship, or maybe the Cruiserweight Championship. Adam Cole in that weight limit too. He's in that weight limit. I think he went down. I think he was like at 210. I think he went down to 205. So Adam Cole, he is in that weight limit for the cruiserweight title. So I could see Adam Cole in the cruiserweight division, but you know what good is that gonna do for Adam Cole? You know he might elevate that division. He might elevate that division if Adam Cole is in it and he, you know, somehow becomes cruiserweight champion. I think he will elevate that division because you know think about it, bro. If Adam Cole wins the Cruiserweight Championship, if he wins the Cruiserweight Championship, he'll be the first ever Grand Slam champion in NXT. First ever Grand Slam champion in NXT. You know, he's a Triple Crown champion. He's a Triple Crown champion. Gargano is a Triple Crown champion. So, you know, if Adam Cole can win the Cruiserweight Championship, he'll be a Grand Slam champion in NXT. Of course, he's been the NXT champion, longest reigning NXT champion, first ever NXT North American champion, former NXT Tag Team Champion, and add the Cruiserweight Championship to that. If he wins the Cruiserweight Championship, he'll be the first ever Grand Slam champion. So they might end up going that way. You know, and a match with Adam Cole and Kushida should be great. I don't think they ever fought before in NXT. I don't think so. But it'll be a first time ever. It'll be a first time ever. And then you have Roddy, bro. You have Roderick Strong going after Kushida in the Cruiserweight Championship. So they might end up crossing paths, or you know, Strong and Cole. O'Reilly, if he wants to go after the Cruiserweight Championship, he can too. So we'll have an undisputed era, you know, an undisputed era in the Cruiserweight division and all that stuff. But yeah, man, that's what I see Adam Cole doing next. You know, if there's one thing he hasn't done yet in NXT is to go after the Cruiserweight Championship. So that's what I would do with Adam Cole. You know, not just add Adam Cole to the Cruiserweight division. I'll add more of these guys to the Cruiserweight division because you know, during, you know, they fired most of the cruiserweight division. They fired most of the cruiserweights. They got rid of Toni Nese. They got rid of Arya Daivari. They got rid of August Gray and all these other guys on 205 Live. They got rid of everybody. The Singh brothers, they got rid of them too. You know, almost everybody in that cruiserweight division, almost everybody in that 205 Live roster, they got rid of them, bro. Rid of them. So yeah, man. But yeah, if you asking me what's next for Adam Cole, bro, I'll send him after the Cruiserweight title, man. Send him after Kushida. And so, yeah, man. So, yeah, that was it with NXT, bro. That was it with the Great American Bash for NXT for July 6, 2021 on The Ryan Awesome Show. And, you know, really good show, man. Really good show, bro. Really good show. A lot of great matches on this show, man. Nothing was wrong with this show. It was really good. It was a great show. Great setup for next week's show. So, yeah, man. Done a great job tonight. Great job, NXT, bro. And so yeah, this is the NXT Great American Bash review on The Ryan Awesome Show. And if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And then right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you're the first ones to know when my next video is uploaded because I am here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. You hit the thumbs up. Turn on that bell for all notifications so you don't miss out. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And yeah, man, comment down below, man. Tell me how you felt about this episode of NXT, The Great American Bash. As you can see, I'm wearing my American T-shirt, you know, for the Great American Bash. And yeah, man, just tell me how you felt about the Great American Bash, bro. And yeah, man, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite Road Rager. So it's gonna be our first night back for Dynamite. They will be on the road. They will be in Miami tomorrow. So it will be in an arena, a different arena. So no more Daily's Place. So yeah, so tomorrow's show, I cannot wait for tomorrow's show, bro. I cannot wait for tomorrow's show. You do not want to miss it. I said that last week in my Dynamite review. You do not want to miss Road Rager. That's tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. So yeah, man. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. I will do my pro wrestling crate before Dynamite. I'll try to do it before Dynamite. And so yeah, man. And once again, guys, man, thank you for the support, man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all the love and support for my show, man. And if you missed my last week review of NXT, the video is going to be right up here in this corner, and the link to that video will be down below in the description. So make sure you either click this video up here or click the link down below in the description. And yeah, man, once again, I'll see you guys tomorrow for AEW Dynamite Road Rager in Miami. And yeah, man, and this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and don't forget to be awesome. And that's that.